I can't help either.
How it is. There you go.
Okay, awesome. Well, how is everybody? Happy New Year. I'm so excited. Who else is just like ready to like just jump and just go this year? I know that for myself, um, I will say the last probably 6 months have been a very different 6 months of my entire build. And I'm just really ready to refocus. My word for 2020, if you don't have your word, I love picking a word every year. My word this year is committed, because I feel like I really need to kind of just almost recommit. But I like the word committed because I'm committed to my relationships, my friendships, my business, my health. So for me, that was my word. So if you have a word you want to share in the comments, please definitely share your word for 2020, and maybe even why it's important to you, like why you chose that word. But that is my word for 2020. So I have been doing a training with different people, and I really kind of loved what I learned from one of the trainers that I've been working with. So it's a little bit on social media. Ooh, explosive. I love that. Ooh, I love it, love it. And I wanted to kind of just share it. So it's a training that I paid for, and I can turn around and I can just share with you guys, which I absolutely love being able to do. Because why would we not pay it forward to the people that we believe in and we love and trust? So I've been doing a challenge group with my team, who's none of them are on here, I don't think right now, because I'm kind of doing that with them anyway. But it is kind of fun and exciting, and it is a several day, it's like 2-week challenge. But I'm going to share some of the things with you guys that make a very big difference in engagement. So that's really truly what we all are kind of probably looking for, if you would think about it. We want engagement on our posts, because engagement, they trust you. When people trust you, that leads to the more connections. When people are willing to connect with you, that's going to lead to new people getting started with you, because people buy from people they know, like, and trust. So how can we help people interact with people and engage with people more, especially like our people that are getting started? Like, we really want other people to start engaging with the people that we are getting started, right? So some of us already know how to do that because we have built a strong foundation and we are interacting consistently. So a couple of things, tips, tricks that we have been working on as a team that I have been learning. So obviously, when you make a post, as people are commenting on it, do not just like their comment, right? Like, it's really, really important that you actually comment back. In the first 15 minutes of a post, if you can get a lot of people interacting with you, that post goes out to a lot more people. So it totally just really helps your algorithm, and it shows to more people. And there's actual numbers that, like, Facebook will show it to 20 people. And if those 20 people interact, it'll show it to 20 more people. So there's actually like a very distinct algorithm. So when you respond to somebody, then it shows Facebook that you are interested, not just, you're not just trying to get people to respond, but you're actually going to interact with that person. So responding with an emoji is not enough. Write a couple sentences, at least one full sentence that person that has actually taken the time to comment on your post, right? Like, it's giver's gain. So if someone's going to be kind enough to like your post, just thank them. Even if they only heart or like or whatever your post, you can actually go back in and say, hey, Mary, I saw that you liked this comment or this post. What did you like about it? Like, get her to get back on and maybe comment on the post. Because the more interaction you have with your post, the more trust you build, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a big one. And I will be honest, like, I used to not do that. Like, people would comment and I just kept going on. I might like their comments, but I didn't actually like interact with their comment, right? Like, so you need to reply to them and really, hey, thank you so much. Maybe ask them a question to get them to respond again, because that's going to just boost your algorithm even more. So for example, one of the things that we are learning is super easy, right? On my Facebook page, you'll see a lot lately, the color blocks. And I ask a simple question. Like right now, mine is, what's your favorite season? Fall, winter, spring, summer, right? It has nothing to do with isogenics. But when people interact, you can say, well, they'll maybe say, oh, I love fall. Well, why do you love fall? What is it about fall that you love? Get them interacting with you. if they just, you know, they put something, it's like, oh, how, you know, someone said one time, like, or just today, Arizona or summer. And I'm like, you love Arizona summers? Like, really? Here in Arizona, you love the summer? Like, get them interacting. Like, you're interested in them. Like, that's really what you want. You want to get them talking to you on your post. So those little color block things that you can do, if you just ask a very simple, engaging question, like a couple times a week, that boosts your algorithm, because people will, for whatever reason, people like you to know what they like, right? Like, so Android or iPhone, coffee or tea, Coke or Pepsi, dogs or cats. Make it a really simple question that people want. Like, they want, oh, I'm a you know, a dog person, or I love my iPhone. Like, for some reason, people want you to know that they're all in on their whatever, right? Like, get them interacting and then ask why. So, like, give them the ability to say, oh, I love dogs. Well, why do you love dogs? Well, I grew up with dogs my whole life. Blah, blah, blah. Get them interacting. So that was one of those things that he's got us doing, that you'd be surprised at the interaction you can get from just that. And if you do one, like, let's say Mondays and Fridays or Mondays and Wednesdays, like, you have them regularly, it's going to boost your posts on your engagement on other posts, right? Like, it just brings up more people to see what you've got going on. I know that so many of us did the 12 days to 12 ways to Christmas cash, right? Like, we were very consistent with our lives. Who's kept up with them? Like, just, you're doing lives like you were doing before, right? Not a lot of people. Like, we kind of all fell off. How many people's engagement went through the roof while they were doing those lives? And it might not even have been on your live, but it started to be as your other posts. I saw a ton more interaction on my other posts while I was doing those lives. So get back to doing your lives at least once or twice a week. If you start doing lives, you'll start boosting interaction with your people again. I mean, I can go back and I can look and see how much more interaction I had when I was doing my lives. And, you know, I've had a couple team members say to me, well, I don't watch lives, so I don't do lives. And that mindset is, well, you're not doing your lives for you. Like, I'm not doing a live for me, right? Like, my life has nothing to do with me. My live is to serve the people that come to my page or that might see it, right? So that mindset, I don't watch them either. I'm not going to lie. Like, I don't spend the time to watch someone's lives. I just don't. But that doesn't mean I shouldn't do them. I have tried to see if watching other people's lives helps my algorithm as well, and I actually think it does. So if you can kind of watch at least a minute or two of someone else's lives, then I feel like when I have done that, it helps. And not your team members, you guys. We're not talking about watching our team members' lives, right? Like, we want interaction from people that have not found Isagenix in their life yet. So if you can interact on someone else's live that is not maybe yet in Isagenix, then you kind of help each other out, right? Like, if you're going to comment, and then they're going to see yours more often. So remember that a giver's gain. It's not just about you, that we're actually adding value and we're serving the people that we are talking to. So, I mean, we all know within Isagenix that smearing like our product all over Facebook is not always the best idea. So when you do lives and you go live and you do a curiosity post within a live, that's even more powerful. So, you know, you go in and you start talking about all the things that you're feeling, or, you know, oh my gosh, I had a great night's sleep last night, da 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 da. And you're creating that curiosity post, and people will start asking you about it. So don't just do your curiosity post, your power post in an actual post. Start doing your power post and curiosity posts once, twice, whatever a week in your live. You have a really good, strong title and a call to action, and really think about how you can get people reaching out to you to do that. I mean, we've got right now the 16-week IsaBody challenge. Go live and talk about, I've done it this many times and it does, you know, has done this for me. Like, can you imagine if you were watching that? The other thing I really highly suggest doing is I want you to go and look your last maybe 5, 7, 10 posts. All right. Like, or even better yet, have someone that you really respect and care about do it for you. And here's why. Sorry, I'm gonna mute. You want someone to see, like, you want them to kind of just go through your posts and say, what are you about? Like, as you're looking at my posts, what am I about? Right? If you don't have someone do it, I want you to look at it and say, would I stop and would I read the posts that I'm creating? Are they speaking to someone else? Is this all about me? Like, am I posting for me to like be like, oh, like, look at me? Or am I posting so other people get benefit? Like, how am I serving the people that I am posting for, right? So I've done this for people, and I've had people just be like, thank you so much. Like, I didn't realize that I was not necessarily, putting across what I meant to put across. Like, because sometimes we really do think like, I've got this down, I'm posting, I've got great posts. But if your posts aren't speaking to the people that you need them to speak to, then you're not actually going to be attracting who you're looking to attract. So, and that's the next thing. What he's had us do, I absolutely love. So you're going to do a brain dump. You're going to get a piece of paper and you're going to do a brain dump. And you're going to write down all the things that are important to you, all the things that you are about, all the things that you love, what you do, what you enjoy. Bethany's a snowboarder. Like, she's going to write down snowboarding. Write down all the things that are really important to you, right? Now what you do is you literally hone in down to 5. He calls them the 5 pillars. And it's going to take some time. This is not an exercise that takes 3 minutes. This is I'm going to think about this. I'm going to put some really good thought into this. So you're brain dumping. You're going to go through and circle the ones that stand out to you the most. You're going to narrow down, and you have 5 pillars, right? Those 5 pillars are the only things that you're going to post about from now on. So it can be family, it can be faith, it can be fitness and health, it can be cooking, it can be anything. You want them pretty broad, right? Like, if you do family, anything about your kids and what you do with your kids and what you do with your family, that all goes under there, right? Like, that all would be something. So you're not limiting to yourself. If you get so narrowed down to a topic that is really not broad enough to like be able to post regularly about it, you don't want that. So you need them broad enough where you've got subcategories underneath that. So like, you could do athlete. Well, athlete, you could do snowboarding under that. You could do workouts under that. You could do lots of different things under that category. So you want to just be mindful of, you're going to need to be able to talk about this a lot. So obviously all of us should have health and wellness under there, right? Like, that's one that you should probably have. So you can talk about health and wellness. You can talk about sleep. You can talk about energy. You can talk about your gains at the gym. You can talk about anything to do with that. You can maybe share workouts. You can share healthy recipes, right? Like, is this making sense to everybody? If it's not, just raise your hand or stop me right now. Because I've had to kind of go back and redo my 5 pillars a couple times, right? And what I did find out is I went back through my Facebook and I realized I was doing this anyway. I didn't realize it, but all the 5 things that were really important to me, if I go back in the last 2 years on my Facebook and really scroll back, I've been doing this, not knowing I was doing this. So if you are all over the place, this is going to really help you with your what's the word I'm looking for? Your planning of your posts. And this is really good to teach your teams, because how many of your team members have said, I don't know what to post? If you can get them dialed in on 5 pillars, and the Monday through Friday, it's pillar 1 through 5, and then you start back over, Saturday, Sunday, 1, 2, like, you're just going to post about different pillars every day. So you're not like, what do I post today? Oh my gosh, I don't know what to post today. I don't have anything to say. You're going to be able to help them really plan out what their posts are going to be. I mean, for a lot of us, if you've been around, maybe posting and coming up with posts is not as hard as it is for someone brand new. But how can, I see a lot of leaders on the call, like, how can we help our teams be better at planning their posts? This is a really good way to do that, right? So I know that, all of you have great content. From the ones that I know you guys know what you're doing, but does your team struggle with what to post and how to post, right? So that was like a really big step. Like, that was an action step that I had like them do one day. The next thing is, and it's very simple, have them change their profile picture if they haven't changed it in a while. Like that does big things. If you have had the same profile picture for a really long time, the simple change of a profile picture will get more people like commenting, right? Like it'll get people like, oh, wait, like, oh, you changed that. The next day, have them change the background picture, like, the header picture, the cover photo. And here's a really good tip. Your picture, your profile picture, and you all know this, I know you all know this, should be you and only you. It should not be you and, 5 different people or, whatever. It should be you. It should be a good picture of your face where people can see you and connect with you. Your cover photo should say something about you, and tip, hint, whatever you want to say, it should be one of your pillars or have several of your pillars in it, right? So you can make that with Canva. You can make it with WordSwag. You can make it with different things. Have your cover photo be something that people are drawn to. You want to think of it like this. That new person that finds you on Facebook, what's their first impression of you? That picture and the profile, like the profile picture and the cover photo. Those are the first 2 things that they will see about you. What do they say about you? So help your team go through their Facebook page and help them. What is the number one thing that you can help your team with is get their Facebook ready to start really connecting with other people. So what does your profile picture say about you? What does that cover picture say about you? And honestly, like it doesn't have to be like professionally done, or it doesn't have to be spectacular. Right now, my background is literally, it just says inspire. That's all it says. It's black and white picture that says inspire. That's it. It doesn't have to be all this crazy stuff, right? I think someone just said it. The next thing you want to do is have them change update their bio, right? Like if you go to edit profile and they have the bio, right? Very easy, where you just list a few things. Some of those could be your pillars. So if your pillars are right in front of your face at all times and you're really truly being who you are, or you can have it be a sentence, like have it be a 1 or 2 line sentence about you, because that's the next thing that someone's going to see. They're going to read that and think, what's this person about? Like, who is this person? You got to think of it kind of like a dating app. Like they're kind of checking you out maybe. Like, what do you look at when you go to someone's Facebook page? Right? You're going to look at their picture. You're going to look at their bio. You're looking at these things, especially those of us who are looking to connect with other network marketers. Maybe we want a network marketer in our business. How can we attract that? And then the next thing is you have a area where you have photos, and you can have up to 9 that are like your, I can't remember what they're called, but it's like, oh, we just did this. Anyway, there's 9, you can have up to 9. If you have kids, you probably should have your kids in there. If you're into health and wellness, if you're into, whatever, you want those to show some of your 5 pillars, right? Like if you say family, if you say faith, if you say whatever, those should be some of your pictures, and you get to pick those 9 pictures. You can pick them out. You can make them into a pretty like graph. So you can have pictures, you can have words, you can make it whatever you want. And you can actually move them around and have it look exactly how you want it to look. Do your teams know this? A lot of people don't even know that they can change those things. So if you don't have it done, I would update yours. If you do, if it looks great, you may update them. I just moved some of mine around. I changed mine around because I've had the same ones for a really long time. So that's a simple thing to get your Facebook page ready for the new year, right? Like it's very, very easy. How are you... you really want to think about this too. How are you branding yourself, and what is your brand? Most people think a brand, and your brand is not Isagenix, y'all. That is not your brand. Your brand is you. Your brand is every comment you make. Your brand is every post you make. Your brand is how you treat people. Your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. That is your brand. So you need to be very, very aware of how you interact with other people, the things that you post. And this is why we're talking, you've got those 5 pillars. That's going to become like how you're known. I mean, like for myself, I have people reach out to me all the time and say, I may not comment on your things all the time, but if I'm having a bad day, I'll actually come to your page and I'll read one of your posts, right? Like who are you known for? Who are you? Like, how do you interact? How do you make people feel? That is your brand. y'all, no one can be your brand. No one can take it away from you either. So no matter what happens in your life, your brand will stay the same as long as it's you, right? If you're trying to make your brand Isogenics, you're like, not that I think Isogenics is going anywhere, but like, what if imploded tomorrow? Do you still have your brand? Only if it's you. If you've made your brand just about Isogenics, that's no longer viable for you. So always just remember that people connect with people they know, like, and trust. They're going to buy from someone they know, like, and trust. So this is really about, you can cast a big, huge net and try to bring everybody in, or you can cast a net and bring the people that are like you in, right? I mean, raise your hand if in your business, you can say, this is what I attracted this person into my business when I was this. And then I did some personal development. I attracted this person into my business when I was this. Y'all, I know exactly when people came into my business based on who I was when I attracted them. Who do you want to attract into your business? Do you want to attract people that want this, that are givers, that are like basically who you are? Or do you want to attract just anybody? I know that I want to attract people that are like-minded to me because I can work with them, right? Like, I can work with someone who understands me and they understand, like, we understand each other. I can't work with someone who doesn't have the same mindset or doesn't enjoy the same things. Like, I don't know like how to like connect with someone who's like into crystals and Reiki and like those things. Those aren't important to me. But if that's what's important to you, that's going to be something you can connect with. You're like, oh yeah, this is my favorite crystal, and we should do a Reiki session, and like those things will be important to those people. That's not important to me. So I can't really truly like authentically connect with that person. So when you're posting, you guys, I love Reiki and crystal. See, like Bethany likes those things. Like she's going to, if that was on her pillar and she talked about it, that would be something that other people that like those same things can connect with her on, right? Now, I love Bethany because she loves to snowboard and we have other connections. But is this making sense to y'all? Like how you can really start to attract only the people that belong in your business. And that's not to say you will not have other people come into your business. That's not what I'm saying at all. But you're going to just cast a net where you're going to be able to connect with those people and make those connections quicker and faster, stronger, whatever. So the other thing that I have kind of had to figure out like how to make connections stronger, right? Like network marketing is a relationship business. If you are not working on your relationships and if you're just out trying to get people, it's going to come back on you. So how are you creating relationships? I know there are Trisha, I know Bethany, I think Janine, there's people on here that do BNI or some kind of networking group, and they're building relationships with people. How are you building a relationship with the people on Facebook? For me, I have 10 people every single day that I just go in and I use their name, I compliment them, and I ask them a question. This has nothing to do with me trying to get them to join my business. I'm not talking about anything. It's people that, I've added to my Facebook page or whatever that have nothing to do, like I've never had a conversation with them. I mean, I have close to 3,000 friends, like, or for whatever it is, 3,500 friends. I have so many people that I've never had a conversation with. So I'm being very intentional about going in through their Facebook page. Oh my gosh, Susan, I have to just tell you, your daughter is beautiful. How old is she? Yeah, like if someone said that to you, Trisha, would you not be like, oh my gosh, thank you. She's like my everything, right? Like compliment people, ask them a question. Or, hey, I absolutely love your style. Where did you get that shirt in your post? It has nothing to do with Isogenics. What it's going to do is open up the ability for me to have a conversation. Like I wasn't doing this, y'all. Like, and if you aren't either, you're going to see an uptick in you're interacting with them in Messenger, and hopefully you've liked a few posts as you've been looking at them and checking them out. So then you're going to start seeing them in your feed, and they're going to start seeing you in their feed. If they respond to you, they're going to start seeing you in their feed, and you're going to see them in your feed. It totally does work. So that algorithm, you have to play with it. Anytime you make a power post or a live, if you are not interacting before that post or that live, you are shooting yourself in the foot. 150,000% you are shooting yourself in the foot. If you're going to put the work into a great post and you're going to put yourself, the work into a live, if you're not going and spending 10 to 15 minutes engaging with other people and being a giver, and we're not just talking about liking posts, we're talking about go in and comment on someone's post, like give them a compliment, not an emoji, like do a nice sentence on other people's posts. Then what Facebook does is it's going to show more people your post because you're interacting with people. Facebook wants to know if you're there to be a taker or a giver. They still really want it to be a social platform. So if you post and you never go to anyone else's pages, guess what? Your engagement will suck. I'm sorry, but that's the truth of the matter. If you're not pre-engaging, if you're not being a giver, just watch. Your engagement will just drop. It will just go so far down. So are you being a giver? And I'm not talking about, and this sucks, my team, I hurt feelings here. I'm just going to go out and say it. I know I do. I love Trisha. I love Sybil. I love Anne-Marie. I love people. But here's the thing. I don't comment on their posts, right? Like everybody on this call has Isagenix in your life. So I'm not consistently going to any of your pages and commenting. Now, if I see a post I love, of course I'm going to be like, Sybil, I love your puppies. Or, Trisha, like your boys are so cute. Like I'm going to, if I see your post, I'll go and like love on it. Or if I just, I haven't seen Trisha for a while, I'll go to her Facebook page and I'll just love on something. But I don't follow, and I'm friends with them, but I do not follow you. So I know that's really hard, but I don't follow any of my own personally enrolled either. I have a list on my wall to remind me who to go and talk to or love on when I need to, but their stuff is not coming up in my thread. And I talk about this, y'all, all the time. And I know it's a controversial thing, but if all you are seeing is the people in your team or on your team in your thread, you're like, guess who's seeing you? And this will be a little bit of a truth bomb, and it might hurt a little bit. It's comfortable. It's really, really comfortable to see all Isagenix people and to have a whole bunch of Isagenix people commenting on your stuff. Because, hey, they might not call you out. They might not say something nasty about you, right? Like they may not make a nasty comment. So it's a really comfortable place specifically for our new people who are building to be, is to have all these lovely, wonderful, happy, energetic Isagenix people, because we know that that's how we all are, right? We're loving and kind, and we're going to be amazing to somebody. But if that's all you're seeing in your Facebook feed right now, raise your hand if a lot of what you're seeing is your own team. Right? Nobody? Good. Then you're doing things right. But how many of your people are only seeing Isagenix people? And you're like, I get so many Facebook friend requests from Isagenix people, you guys, I don't even accept them. And I've hurt feelings that way. And I just send a nice message and I say, if you'd love to follow me, that's totally okay. But I leave my Facebook open for people that have yet to find Isagenix. I know that's really people don't like me for it. I know that it hurts feelings, but it's not meant to. It's really not. I want to share Isagenix with all the people that have yet to find it. So I know that I've hurt feelings that way, and it's not meant to be in any way, but I'm not here to just be friends with people who are part of Isagenix already. And I know that, like I said, I hurt feelings quite often. So does that sting a little bit for anybody? Does it hurt anyone's feelings? No? Okay, good. All right. So the next thing that we're talking about is, so you've got your 5 pillars and you're posting about your pillars. Do curiosity posts in about your pillars too. You can talk about your family and how this is the opportunity to help your family. So it really, when you get your 5 pillars and you can actually know that you cannot post outside of those 5 pillars, it gets you really creative, right? About your 5 pillars. And it gets you really thinking about how you can serve people. Again, if you are not coming up with ways to serve I have the hiccups. Your community, I want you to start thinking about what do you have to offer other people? What do you know a little bit more about something than anybody else? So do a headstand. What? Do a headstand. If you are a really good cook for my hiccups, see, like that's, I didn't know that. See, that Trisha just taught me something. If you are like a really like great cook, I have somebody on my team who absolutely loves to cook, right? She does live cooking videos quite often, and she does healthy live cooking. So that falls under two of her pillars. So what do you do? Like, like hairstylists, if you have a hairstylist on your team, have them do lives about how to braid, about how to like style. Like, and if she's a mom, have her do a live on a fun fishtail braid of like her little girl. Like, y'all, I don't know how to braid hair. I am 40 something years old and I have no idea how to braid my daughter's hair. I would watch that video to try to figure out how to braid my daughter's hair. So like, who can you add value to? And I know some people are like, well, everyone knows how to do that. No, everyone does not know how to do those things. I'm 40 years old and I just really learned how to do my makeup. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but I didn't really do my makeup very well. Like, how can you add value to other people's lives? What do you know a little bit more than the average person about that you can serve your audience? Everybody knows something. Everybody. I don't care who you are. You have something to offer the people that are tuning in and following you on Facebook. And I promise you, there are people that come to your Facebook page just to see what you're posting. It sounds crazy, but there are. The other thing I want you to do is I want you to go to a few people that inspire you, that you, like if you're scrolling, that you stop on their page. What is it about their page that makes you stop? Whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever. What is it that's making you stop and really like read their posts? What is it that makes you want to be a part of their page? Okay, I'm missing all these because my thing is that I can't read any of the comments. Dang it! I'm like, Anyway, let's see. I can't read any of those. I'm too distracted. And then what I want you to do is figure out how you can incorporate, whether it's the color they're using, whether it's the style of post. So there's a lot of different ways you can post, right? You can post with a picture and words. You can just write things, or you can use emojis, or you can, like I found I like when like there's kind of almost a subject line and like it's outlined for me. Like, so I'm scrolling and I know what they're talking about in the post. So I did one about my daughter's softball team, and it was about growth and change. So even though I saw pictures of something, different, people were like, they probably, if they saw growth and change, they may have stopped to look at what that post was about. And I just talked about, blah, 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 blah. So figure out like when you're watching, scrolling through Facebook, what gets you to stop your scroll, and then incorporate that into your Facebook page, right? And if you don't know yet, if you're like, I don't really know, like, is it humor? Is it food? Is it a workout? Is it the way they post? Is it the colors they use? Like, what is it that stops your eye, that catches your eye? For me, like, I like black and white and I like hot pink. If you go to my Facebook page, I use those color blocks. I use black, I use hot pink, and I post a lot of white space and like things like that. What gets you to stop? Do you like it when people have a filter? Like, I don't like that. Like, if I'm on Instagram and I feel like something's fakey, I'm like, I don't want to, it's not interesting to me. Other people love that look, like where everything looks the same on someone's page. Everything is subjective to who you are and what's important to you. Does that make, like, do you agree? Like, everyone's different. And I want to attract people that like the same things as me, right? Like, one of the girls that did a training, she loved unicorns and like sparkles or something like that. And people like knew her for her unicorn posts and her sparkles. Like, people were attracted to that. Like, what is it about you? Like, maybe people love to come to Trisha's page because she's positive and she has a badass hairdo. Like, like they love her spiky hair. Like, it changes all the time. Like, what is it about you that gets people to see? Like, that's awesome. I can't do that. I love it. Sybil is a spin instructor, like, and I know she just started getting back into it. Like, she will attract other people who love spin if she's incorporating that into her Facebook page on a regular basis, right? Like, even if it's just a picture of her on her bike, other people are gonna be like, oh my gosh, I love spin. I'm gonna like follow Sybil. It's so strange to hear it, but it really does work. So elephants, that's right. Trisha's got elephants. She loves her elephants. We know that from some parties. All right. Okay. So does anybody have any questions? And has that kind of helped you guys to like really narrow down how to really start the new year off? And you don't want to make all these changes at one time. So one day change your profile picture, one day change your background or your cover photo, one day change your bio. And that's basically, it will be its own post. And you can actually, when you do that, you can make a post out of it. So, and the way you do that is you go in and you actually like change it and then you can add words to it. Yes, so.
I have been doing branding calls with my teammates, and we've gone through, I don't know, like 8 of them or so. I've been trying to remind the teammates why we are still talking about Facebook and why, you know, we hear all this great stuff about Instagram. So I thought it might be a good idea, because you do seem to be quite the authority, Nicole. And I've always really, really honored and listened to everything that you've said with your social media and everything. And I wondered how you handle that question. I mean, I'll tell you kind of in a very quick nutshell how I handled it. I'm 53, almost 54. My audience hangs out on Facebook. That's all, you know, that I can really say about it. I love using Instagram because it's fun and it's artistic and you can put glitter. But I only use it because it serves 2 purposes. Like it gives me more exposure, and then I loop it with Facebook because I have 4,200 Facebook friends and only 1,800 Instagram followers. So in order for it to get full exposure, I've got to make sure it links. And that can only happen when it's not a business Instagram account. I had to figure that out kind of the hard way. But I was curious, with your training that you just had, what do they say about that? Did they talk about that at all?
Yeah, so it may seem like Facebook is being used less, and it's not. That's the funny thing. So yes, a lot of the younger people are on Instagram, but like one of the trainings that I did actually talks about how hard it is to actually build an organic Instagram following. So you can pay for leads, you can pay for follows, you can do one of the follow loops, but here's the reality of that is you can do those things, you can pay for those things, but those people can also just easily walk away from your connection. Like they're doing the same thing you are. So they're going to follow a whole bunch of people. And guess what they're going to go do? They're going to go unfollow a whole bunch of people. So you have to think about like, where are you making an actual connection? So Instagram is awesome if you're able to make those real connections. And I find like, in all honesty, like the millennials can do that really, really well. But if you go and you can look at someone like, I'm not going to use names, but there's really big top Isagenix leaders and they may have 60,000 followers, but you go to their post and they have like 3 interactions. Like, what's the point? Like, what is the point of that? It's like, Instagram is the same as Facebook. The more interaction, the more people see it. Well, if you have 60,000 people and no one's seeing your post, well, either you're not giving and but what is the point of that? So on Facebook, I just feel like, and what he was talking about is you can actually build a better relationship, right? Like Instagram, unless you're willing to put in the work, you have to be DMing people and you have to be commenting. If you look at Instagram, like a lot of times people just go and heart stuff, right? Like people don't seem to take the time to actually interact with each other. Now, again, you take the millennials and I feel like they may do that a little bit more. But again, I'm looking at the faces of just this call and none of us, at least the ones I can see, are millennials, right? So where do you want to build? Do you want to spend the time to try to build an authentic, real connection on Instagram, which I cannot seem to break the 2,000 mark no matter what I do. And I refuse to pay for likes and followers. I won't do it because they're not going to be what I want. Or do I want to make real connections on Facebook? So where do you want to be putting the best work out? Like that to me is the thing. And not only that, if you get someone in your business, how do you build on Instagram? You can't put them in your Facebook group. You can't, there's no way to actually have training and the things that you need on Instagram. So you're still going to have to pull them over to Facebook. Mm-hmm. So why would I do that work in two spots? So I have the same issue as you, Sybil. And it has been proven that Instagram's making it harder, and they're not going to show likes. They're not going to show like they're pulling all these games. For Instagram or Facebook doesn't do that. If someone likes your post, someone likes your posts. So, I mean, where would you rather spend your time? Like, I don't want to spend my time putting in to something that they really, like, they're controlling who sees it and who sees what, and if people like it. And I mean, that's the whole game, is you have to have a whole bunch of likes on Instagram, right? Well, now they're hiding the likes. And so that's what we've kind of talked about, is I would rather build where building works, as far as,
or at least link them so that you're going to do the work. You know, like they're saying that that Facebook stories are kind of like this year's lives. Like last year was about the lives. This year it's about Facebook stories. But if you can build them and have double exposure, I guess that makes perfect sense to me.
And that's exactly how I do it. So I do my Insta story, and then it goes to Facebook. And I actually watch, like, I'll watch how many people see on Instagram and how many people see it on Facebook too. Like, I'm keeping tab of that. Like, who is seeing it on Instagram? Who is seeing it on Facebook? Are they the same people? Are they different people? How many people saw this one there? How many people saw it on on Facebook? Like, I am actually paying attention to those things, right? Who's continually watching my story? Like, I'm making a mental note of who's continually watching, and they may not ever say anything to me, but if they're watching my story, there's a reason. Because you kind of pick who you watch sometimes, right? Like, I mean, and you watch how long did they watch through your story. If you have like 7 or 8 things or 9 or 10 things and they're watching the whole story, they care enough to be watching. There's a reason. Now there's other people who watch like one thing and they'll go their merry way. Well, maybe that person's not interested, or like they're just watching people's stories, like they're going through. So, and same with stories, you have to watch other people's stories if you want them to watch yours. Yeah.
Hey, Nicole?
Yeah, let me just, go ahead, Robert.
I know just a question on the chat box there. I would love to hear a couple of examples. I've done lives a lot. I feel like to be very transparent, I did so many lives without a lot of next level engagement that I became a little disenchanted with them. So now I saw Bethany do some lives and she had interaction with them. I would love to get your 2 cents or some feedback on how to make them more
are you
engaging.
pre-engaging? Are you going through and are you engaging with people before you go live? Or are you just going live?
I'm just going live. Can you explain how I would do better a job at pre-engaging?
So spend 10 to 15 minutes, scroll through your Facebook page and engage with people that are on your feed. So you'll go to Joe and Susie and Carrie and Mary, and you're gonna go, oh my gosh, da 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 da. And your next person, da, 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 like, engage with their post 10 to 15 minutes. Spend the time to engage with your Facebook feed, and your Facebook feed will engage with you. Again, you have to be a giver. It's all about how are you serving other people. If you're just going live and thinking people are going to watch you, well, are you watching them? That's exactly what I was talking about. You have to engage with people if they're going to engage with you. Same with Instagram stories. Like, if you're doing your stories and you're not going watching other people's and commenting, you have to be sending little notes. You have to like give a little, like, your baby is so cute, or I love your new house, or those shoes are rocking, or you have to be engaging in your Instagram stories as well. Like, that's one of the things I think people just post a story and then they're not watching anyone else's. Well, guess what? Instagram knows, Facebook knows. So even if it's like you're getting ready and you just let your loop play, like, so go on your Instagram stories, let it play, and every once in a while just bend down and like respond to someone here and there, then those interactions will start happening more and more. And you can do your Facebook Live, save it, and then post it to your Instagram story. Did you know that? And you can put it to HGTV. So if I do a live, it's going lots of places. I'll do my live, I make sure it uploads, then I put it on HGTV, which puts it in my feed, and then I'll put it in my Instagram story, which puts it in my Facebook story. So now it's in 4 places, right? So I didn't waste my time, but also I spent the time beforehand making sure I was engaging with people. So now I've got 300 or 400 people watching my Instagram story on Facebook.
Yeah.
I've got 300 or 400 people watching on Insta stories. I've got 300 or 400 people watching on IGTV. So I've got more exposure. And some of those people may be the same people, but you're widening that base of people who are seeing you. Now, when you've got your pillars down and you know what you're talking about, you know the person you're trying to attract, and you're really specific, and then you can start to attract the people you're looking to attract that are like you. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. That seems to be a big missing link for so many of us, that we feel like we're giving value, but we're not doing the activity that we want people to do to give us.
Right.
So
right.
that was a big missing piece that I was missing. So thank you. That's a big piece there. Thank you, Nicole.
And I would love to hear, like in like a couple weeks, to see what your engagement does when you start engaging with others. Like I really, like, I want you to come back and report, like, you know, hey, I've been doing that and I have seen an uptick in because I know that for me, when I was doing those lives every day before I went live, I was spending 10 to 15 minutes, not only engaging on people's posts, but messaging people. And I'd have 500, 600, 700 people watching my, you know, like not right at that time, but that would see my live.
Wow.
So, and you can see how many people actually view your live.
Yes. Yeah.
So, but I was putting in the work. It does take work. You can't just post and hope that people, it's kind of like how people used to post and pray. You can't just throw a post up and think that it's going to get all this, you know, traction. Like, again, you have to interact with the people who are watching and are interacting, and you have to be engaging with people beforehand. And after doesn't work. I've tried that. I've tried to post and then engage afterwards. It's not as effective as if you go before and then do your live or your power post.
I was just gonna say, Nicole, and it's kind of after the fact, but
what?
I was just gonna say, you know, Facebook bought out Instagram, you know, and so of course they want people to be on Facebook more. That's where all their ads are. That's where they're making all their money. And so they're going to create restrictions and stuff on Instagram because they want you to be on Facebook. The same guys own both, right? And so, and that's the same thing for me. You know, if you have 1,500 followers on Instagram, well, they're following hundreds of people because most people aren't managing that. And so the idea that they're going to see your stuff, like, that's crazy. Like, they're more than likely not going to see your stuff because they're scrolling through hundreds of people every single day. So anyway, and I was going to say, I have some friends that I hang out with this weekend. They're pretty well known. Their blog is Lolly Jane, and they kind of like put me under the bus. They were like, Trisha, you never, you know, they're like, we give you shout outs, but you never interact with us on Instagram. I'm like, I like all your stuff. And they're like, yeah, but you never talk to us and comment. And I was like, rude. But it's exactly what you're talking about, is just the lack of engagement because we're busy. Well, I'm not too busy because I want to make a lot of money this year in my business. So it's a part of my daily dues now.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. So time block time to go pre-engage, time block time to do, you know, this kind of work, and you will see your engagement change. Like, you have to have it part of your DMO. Like, it has to be part of what you're doing every single day. Like, you're putting the thought into the posts, you're putting the thought into the Instagram stories. Are you putting the thought into the, like, doing and being for other people, or are you just trying to get people to interact with you? Like, it's plain and simple. You have to interact with other people. Like, and it didn't used to be that way. You all, this is definitely a change within Facebook. So, like, I used to be able to post and not interact with a whole bunch of other people and get, you know, like, interaction. But Facebook wants to know, are you interacting with people? Like, are you just there to post, or is it an actual social, like, platform for you? Are you being social? Are you helping, you know, are you giving? Are you, you know, going back and forth with people? So that's why I'm saying, you know, if you're commenting and liking and whatnot, other people's posts and sending the messages, Facebook is going to love that. And then as you go live, you'll see a lot more people, like, are coming to you and watching your lives. So, yes. Yep. Anything else? I don't know a lot about LinkedIn, Robert. I need to get better at that one, because that's where you're going to find a lot of more business-minded people. I wish someone, knew a ton, or we could get an actual LinkedIn trainer to come do one of our calls. I'm not even going to act like I don't know much about it. I have a profile. I don't use it, but I would love to, because I think that you've got a lot of business-minded people there. So if anyone knows anyone who does LinkedIn training, just sign me up. I would love that on a call. I don't know about anybody else, but man,
I think
if
I
I
can
could
get
write
somebody,
that one.
Nicole. I think I
Well,
have someone
like,
that could do that.
how
But
awesome
honestly,
would
let
that
me
be?
just say, Robert, that is a really good platform for you, because LinkedIn is it's the same thing as Facebook, except that people really want to go straight to the point. Like, they're about creating power relationships, referral partners. Like, that's what LinkedIn is. And so if you can get in there and get straight to the point and just speak man to man, like, they will love that. That's what I love working with men, because I can go straight to the point. I don't have to build a relationship. And LinkedIn is about getting straight to the point.
So someone asked how to loop Instagram to Facebook. The simple answer is Google it. It's not as hard as you think. Like me telling you right now, you'd be more confused than if you just go Google, how do I link my Facebook and Instagram? Because it'll give you a step-by-step. And I'm not doing that to be cagey or sassy. It's honestly easier for you to Google that than me to sit here and try to tell you, because I don't have it in front of me. I'd have to open it up, and it's been a while since I did it. So Google is your absolute best friend on anything that you want to know. The other thing that I learned that I really didn't know a lot, anything you want to know about how to do something, y'all, YouTube, you can learn anything on YouTube. So I am getting ready to actually, on the LinkedIn front, is to go start watching videos on how to build a killer LinkedIn profile and how to build a business on LinkedIn. Y'all, I just sat here and said, I wish we had someone. And I know that if I just go spend 10 to 15 minutes a day learning how to do LinkedIn through watching videos, I can do it myself. So if there's anything that you're like, I really just don't know how to do this, in all honesty, anything, it's crazy. Type in what you want to learn on YouTube, and there is a lesson on how to do it on YouTube. That's why that is one of the fastest growing platforms as well, because I will tell you, my kids don't even watch TV anymore. My children do not sit down and watch TV unless it's a sporting event. They watch YouTube videos. And they're learning. They have educational stuff. I walk into a room, my kid's learning something about aerospace, random stuff. I'm like, what are you watching? It's YouTube. It's crazy. They don't watch TV. It's not important to them. So anything you want to learn, you can. It's kind of scary too, but you can learn it on YouTube. So I know we're right at 7:00. Is there anything that you have questions about that I talked about tonight? I would love to know if this was valuable to you guys. Do you think it'll be valuable to your teams? I hope you share some of this. If your teams are on here, make a post. You could take what I just shared. If you know your team's not going to watch because they're whatever, share this with your team in a breakup of posts, because you can get your whole entire team, thinking outside the box, thinking differently, starting their new year in a different way. This is great content if you have a business page that you can start working with your team on. Any questions? I know I'm probably close to time.
Nicole, anybody that listened to this call tonight could actually go live about this on their own page, not necessarily, referring back to owning a health and wellness business, but any business owner could find value in this.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So thank you. Yep. And of course on their business pages too.
Yeah. My suggestion is teach your team how to add value to their Facebook wall and engage and really boost their own engagement. So, it will be of massive help to you as the leader, because as your people engage better, they're going to have more people that get started with them, and the more people obviously that get started, your team grows. So it's all about sharing this with your team. And yes, Sybil, you're totally right. To do a live on this, to add value to other people, is definitely something for me right now. That's not one of my pillars. My pillar isn't helping other people build their business outside of you know what I mean? Like, so for me, that does actually not fit in one of my pillars. So it's not something I will do. If that makes sense. So if under like what pillar would you put that if you like, you know what I mean? So really be very clear on your pillars, and I swear to you, you're going to attract the people that you're looking to attract into your business. Like,
I would put it under empire building.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So if that's one of your pillars, which is a great pillar, that totally fits under empire building. And that's a nice broad pillar too, because everything business goes under that. So that's a really good example of, you know, when you have come to your pillars, you don't want them to be so narrow that you can't put other things underneath them, right? Like, even though faith can be really important to people, are you willing to post a lot about your faith on your page? Like, is that going to be something you are comfortable consistently talking about on your Facebook page? If it is, I know a lot of people are, then awesome. Like, it's totally good. But if that's not something you've been posting a lot about recently, and all of a sudden, you know, like that's something you're going to start talking about more. So does that make, like, be very clear about who you are and who you're trying to attract. So if you got to make sure it's who you are and the things that are important to you, because you're going to be posting about them. So, and it's okay to like have them and then redo them. So you might find in a week or two, you're like, oh wait, these aren't working for me. And just because no one knows them, you're not putting them, hey, no one knows your 5 pillars. Like, only you know what they are, but people will start to be able to see them. Like, if you go to my page, you can probably get an idea of what mine are. Like, you can kind of start to pick up on that vibe of what like different people's pillars would be if they're, you know, they're actually working off of them. And you might already be doing it. Like, go back, look at your posts. You may already be doing it. You may already have a few things that you're consistently posting about that you just don't even realize you're already doing some of this stuff. Any other questions? Awesome. I hope that was good. I know that it's been really, really great for our team. Like, everyone's excited. I will tell you, I'm doing a challenge. I'm running a 14-day challenge, and I'm like spoon feeding it to them day by day. Like, that is literally what I'm doing. I'm like giving them action steps, like 2 to 3 action steps a day. And here's what to post. Here's how, like, do this live, do this, and do this. Like that. I'm literally hand feeding my team how, like, today you change your profile picture and you do a curiosity post. Tomorrow, you know, like the next day, I mean, think about it, y'all. You can literally walk your team in a challenge on how to start the new year and raising their engagement. If you really wanted to, you know, create some big momentum. Awesome. And lives. I know that, you know, people don't think that people watch them, but I'm telling you, I'll get 700-800 people watching a live. So people watch them. Not at the same time. Wouldn't that be great to have 700 or 800 people drop on your live like, at the same time?
What would you do? You would be
I would
see your eyes widen, like, what's happening right now?
Oh, I would love it. Could you imagine? Like, I think the most I've had is like 40 or 50 at the same time. And I think that was like one that I had a really good title, like a really like risque title. And I had a lot of people jump on, and they were all dudes. And it wasn't a dirty post. So they were a little bit disappointed.
Oh my gosh.
It was my real or fake post. So, but I mean, you know, guys want to know, and I think one was about my balls, my Christmas balls, but it said something about, do you like balls? I don't remember what it was, but a bunch of guys jumped on that one thinking it was going to be something it wasn't. So.
Well, I probably would have stopped my scroll if I would have saw that.
Well, and that's the thing. You have to create really good titles if you can. Like, sometimes I get stuck, but man, if you come up with a good title that stops the scroll, you're golden. So,
well, I think, and then a great call to action. I think what you said to me like 2 weeks ago was really impactful, because, you know, I wish I would have had this training even 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I did a video just to women, and it was a growth video, and it was really vulnerable. And I had over 200 watchers, Nicole, and I had no idea what to do with it. I mean, I just was like, thank you guys, are amazing. I didn't follow up with anybody. I didn't do anything. And 2 weeks ago, you said to me, you know, like, what gets the most engagement? Like, what do you get the most excited out of? And it's hard. It's hard being the person that has to go vulnerable all the time. But, you know, I think the key is, you know, what do people want to hear from you? And then you have to just be willing to do it.
It's crazy that you said that, because I remember that conversation completely. I have a few friends that are in other network marketing companies, and one of them had a really good post today, and I reached out to her and I'm like, you know, that post speaks like so much to my heart and where I am in my life right now. And she's like, it's so funny because the posts that I don't want to post and I think twice about posting are the ones that get the most engagement, and the posts I think are going to rock someone's world and I'm going to get all this, you know, from it, are the ones that totally bomb. And so like, it really does say be more vulnerable, because it's the ones that you're like kind of nervous to share, that I swear to you, people for whatever reason, and hers was about losing adult friendships, like when someone that you are super close to leaves your life for whatever reason. And we all know with personal growth how many people have had people leave your life because and it's, you know, like a friend breakup, because you make them uncertain. Your growth is making them uncertain, but it hurts. And that's what her post was about. Like, I lost one of my very closest friends, left me, and, you know, we broke up basically, and how much it hurt. Like, that has to be a very vulnerable post to make. And I mean, the comments were like hundreds of, oh my gosh, like that's exactly where I am in my life. Making friends is really hard. Like, I can't believe like how like, this point in my life I can feel so lonely. And like, you take the chance to be vulnerable, and other people are just going to jump on, and they're going to be a lot more open and vulnerable as well. But a lot of people are so worried about what people think about them, and the fear of you know, judgment and whatnot, that people aren't open to doing that. So it's a great point, Trisha. It's so good. And you have a very good way of being very open and vulnerable, you know. And I mean, sometimes you can't force it. It has to be something that's on your heart. But when there is something on your heart, so many of us shy away from actually making that vulnerable post. So does that make sense? And I know there were lots of comments. I wasn't able to read them all. I'm so sorry. Like, if I try to read comments while I'm like training, I'm squirrel.
No, most of the comments were us teasing you, so just ignore them. Don't even read. Don't go look. Let's go ahead and cancel the call, guys. Let's go ahead and end this right now.
Are you guys making fun of me?
No.
Oh,
Y'all, be nice to this woman.
you what?
We were commenting on how you're saying y'all.
Oh, sorry.
No, we love it.
Oh, okay.
That's okay. No, you guys are amazing. Thank you, Nicole, so much. Like, I got so much. Those were just like the painful reminders I think all of us needed to hear, because it was just exactly what we need to be doing.
Yeah. And the key is get your team to do them, because we know them. Like, a lot of us know that we need to do them. It's the key is get your team doing them. So I see all leaders on this page, you know, like who I can see, like your leaders, like, are you teaching your team this? Because we assume they know, but do they actually know? If they don't know, they're not going to do it. Right? So, all right. Thank you so